Hello dear friends, today we are starting with objective second segment of NLM SC Verma. Let's start with question number 1. A reference frame attached to the earth. Before discussing the option, we need to understand that earth is an inertial frame or non-inertial frame. Earth is revolving around the sun. So this is the circular path, and at the center this is the position of the sun. We consider that earth is revolving around the sun in circular path. Is the motion of earth accelerated or uniform motion? As the earth is moving in circular path, the motion is accelerated motion. It means earth is non-inertial frame if we consider the revolution of earth around the sun. Okay. Now the second point. Earth is rotating about its axis. There is a rotational motion of earth about its axis. So this type of motion is accelerated motion or not? Rotational motion about the axis, that is also accelerated motion. So on this behalf, again, earth is non-inertial frame. Finally, we can say earth is a non-inertial frame, and there are two reasons. One is revolution of earth around the sun, and second one is rotation of earth about its axis. Let's read out the options. A frame, reference frame attached to the earth. Okay, one more thing before the options. A frame attached to non-inertial frame is also non-inertial frame, and frame attached to inertial frame is also inertial frame. First option is an inertial frame by definition. What is question? A reference frame attached to the earth. Earth is non-inertial frame. So the frame attached to the earth is an inertial frame by definition. This is wrong. Cannot be an inertial frame because the earth is revolving around the sun. This is right. Is an inertial frame because Newton's laws are applicable in this frame. This is also wrong. Cannot be an inertial frame because the earth is rotating about its axis. This is also correct. So B and D, there are two correct options. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. A particle stays at rest as seen in a frame. We can conclude that the frame is inertial. Resultant force on the particle is zero. Frame may be inertial, but the resultant force is zero. Frame may be non-inertial, but there is non-zero resultant force. Okay, let's talk about the possibilities. What question says a particle stays at rest as seen in a frame? Okay, let's take a very simple example. Say a car is moving in horizontal direction. A passenger is sitting in the car. Consider this passenger as a particle. Okay, this passenger is a particle. Say car is moving horizontally with constant velocity. First case. Now tell me whether this particle is in rest with respect to the frame of car. This is our car. So we are taking the frame of car. So particle is in rest in the frame of car. Yes. And car is moving with a constant velocity. It means In this case, car is inertial frame. Am I clear? So if a particle stays in rest with respect to a frame, the frame may be inertial frame. One more thing, tell me what is the net force acting on the particle in this case? The net or resultant force acting on the particle is 0. Let's take the second case. Again, say the same car, the same passenger or particle. Now the car is moving with some acceleration. Say the acceleration is constant. Again tell me whether this particle is in rest with respect to the car or in the car frame. Yes, it is in rest. Okay. And car is moving with some acceleration. So the car is non-inertial frame. Am I right? Car is non-inertial frame. And non-inertial frame has a pseudo force in the direction opposite to the acceleration. So net force or resultant force acting on the particle or passenger is ma, that is non-zero. So here F net is not equals to 0. What are the conclusion? In first case, car is inertial frame, net force on the particle is 0. In second case, car is non-inertial frame and net force is not equals to 0. I ask you a very simple question. Is it compulsory that the car must be inertial frame, or is it compulsory that the car must be non-inertial frame, or both are possible? Both are possible. So the options are very close. Read out the options carefully. The frame is inertial. I say the frame may be inertial. It's not compulsory the frame is inertial. The first option is not correct. Resultant force on the particle is 0. What about the second case? In second case, resultant force acting on the particle is not 0. Second option says resultant force on the particle is 0. It's not compulsory. Third option, the frame may be inertial, yes, but the resultant force on the particle is 0. This is our first case. This is correct option. The frame may be non-inertial, but there is a non-zero resultant force. Yes, this is our second case. So third and fourth, both options are correct. Am I clear, dear students? Let's move on to the next question. That is question number 3. What is question 3? A particle is found to be at rest when seen from a frame S1. Okay. Let us consider only this statement of the question. Rest part of the question will be discussed later on. A particle is found to be at rest when seen from a frame. Again, we are taking same type of example, as I think this is the most simple example to clarify or understand the things. Car is moving in the horizontal direction. Passenger, who is considered as a particle, sitting in the car. Say the car is moving with constant velocity. This car is called frame S1. Now tell me whether the particle is in rest in this frame. Yes. Question says the particle is found to be at rest when seen from a frame S1. tell me S1 is inertial or non-inertial. If we say the car is moving with constant velocity, we will say it is inertial frame. Clear? Okay. Let's take one more example. Please check the difference in these two examples. Passenger is sitting in the car. Car is moving in the horizontal direction with constant acceleration. Constant acceleration. This is our car, which is frame S1. Car is inertial or non-inertial? First check out whether the passenger is in rest or not with respect to car. Yes, definitely, as the passenger is sitting in the car, it will be in the rest with respect to car always. And the car is moving with a constant acceleration, so the car is non-inertial frame. Is that clear? Yes, it is clear. Okay. Now tell me, S1 is inertial or non-inertial, or both are possible? Both are possible. So the conclusion for S1 is it may be inertial frame, it may be non-inertial frame. Okay, let's check out the remaining part of the question. Moving with a constant velocity, we are talking about the particle. Particle is moving with constant velocity when seen from another frame S2. The same particle is observed from the another frame S2, and particle is found to move with a constant velocity. Let's check out whether the frame S2 is inertial or non-inertial. Okay. Let's add something, or let's take some other example. Say again the car. A passenger is sitting in the car. This is car frame S1 moving with constant velocity. Let's take the value 4 meter per second. Okay. Say there is one more car in the same example. This is not a different case. In the same case, we are considering another car, which is frame S2. It's also moving in the same direction with the same speed, 4 meter per second. Just tell me what is the velocity of passenger with respect to car number 2. Say this is car number 1, this is car number 2. What is the velocity of passenger with respect to car number 2? Passenger is sitting in the car 1, which is moving with a speed 4 meter per second. Parallelly, a car is moving in the same direction with the speed 4 meter per second. So the velocity of passenger with respect to car number 2 will be 0. It means the passenger is in rest with respect to frame S2, and S2 is inertial frame. Am I clear? Am I clear? Yes. Let's take one more example. The things will be very much clear. This is our car number 1. Passenger is sitting in the car. Car is moving in horizontal direction. Car number 2 moving in the same direction, right? Say both the cars are accelerating. Acceleration of first car is 2 meter per second square. Acceleration of second car is 2 meter per second square. Okay. What is acceleration of car 1 with respect to car 2? That is relative acceleration. So relative acceleration A relative is equals to 0. Tell me, if the relative acceleration is 0, then relative velocity will be 0. It's not compulsory. Say at any instant of time, the car 1 is moving with the speed 4 meter per second, and at the same instant car number 2 is moving with 3 meter per second in the same direction. In the same direction. So what is velocity of car 1 with respect to car 2? That is 0 or non-zero? Non-zero. It means V relative is not equals to 0. Please check all the things carefully. So relative acceleration is 0, but relative velocity is not 0. Tell me whether this passenger is in rest with respect to car number 2 or it is moving with a constant velocity. I think it is moving with a constant velocity, and that relative velocity is 1 meter per second. So it is moving with a constant velocity, and car number 2 is moving with some acceleration. So this is non-inertial frame. So let's check the final conclusion of these two examples, this one and this one. In this example, S2 is inertial frame and particle is in rest. Okay. In the second example, S2, this is S1 and this is S2. S2 is non-inertial and particle is moving with constant velocity with respect to S2. What is the second part of the question? Moving with constant velocity when seen from another frame S2. Mark out the possible options. So what are the possible options? Possible options, both the frames are inertial. Yes, it is possible. And both the frames are non-inertial. This is also possible. S1 is inertial and S2 is non-inertial. It is not compulsory. It is possible, but it is not compulsory. S1 is non-inertial and S2 is inertial. It's not compulsory. So what are the right options? A and B are the right options. Okay, dear students, let's move on to the another question, that is question number 4. What is question? Figure shows the displacement of a particle going along the x-axis as a function of time. The force acting on the particle is 0 in the region. In which region the force acting on the particle is 0? Let's check the graph of displacement and time. Displacement time graph. For AB part, the graph is a straight line. For BC part, it is curved. For CD part, it is again a straight line. For DE part, it is again curved. Question asks, the force acting on the particle is 0. Force acting on the particle is 0. It means F is equals to 0. It means the acceleration of the particle is 0. It means the velocity of the particle is constant. And xt graph represents the velocity of a particle. Slope of xt graph is equals to velocity of the particle. As the velocity is constant, it means the graph of xt must be a straight line. If the graph of xt is a straight line, the slope is constant. Slope is constant, it means the velocity is constant. Velocity constant means acceleration 0. Acceleration 0 means force 0. So AB part and CD part. In these two parts, the velocity is 0. It means the force acting on the particle is 0. So first option AB and the third option CD. These two options are correct. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. That is question number 5. Figure shows a heavy block kept on a frictionless surface and being pulled by two ropes of equal mass m. At t equals to 0, the force on the left rope is withdrawn, but the force on the right end continues to act. Let F1 and F2 be the magnitudes of the forces by the right rope and the left rope on the block respectively. 4 options are given. Let's draw some ABDs in the given figure. So this is the situation before t equals to 0, that is t less than 0. Okay, say this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, and this is point D. Okay, we are applying a force F at point A. Say the force at point B is F1 as given in the question. Force acting at the point C, that is F2. Okay, at t equals to 0, these two forces are acting. So directly on the basis of symmetry, we can say the system is in equilibrium, as two equal and opposite forces are acting at two ends, right? So the system will be in equilibrium, and in the state of equilibrium, what will be the FBD of this right rope? If I consider this rope as a particle of mass m, the force F is applied in the right direction, F1 in the left. Acceleration is 0, so F is equals to F1. And directly in the similar way, we can also say that F is equals to F2. So the conclusion is F equals to F1 equals to F2 when t equals to 0, right? This is one conclusion. Okay, now what question says, at t equals to 0, the force on the left rope is withdrawn. It means the force F acting on the left rope is removed. Now what is the situation? What is the situation? I think the system will accelerate towards right direction with some acceleration A. Let's draw the FBD of the right rope, a particle of mass m. F is acting towards right, F1 is acting towards left, acceleration A. What is equation? That is F minus F1 equals to ma, right? Secondly, we draw the FBD of block. Say the mass of the block is capital M. Force F1 is acting towards right, F2 is acting towards left. Now the equation is F1 minus F2 equals to ma. Am I clear? Now we draw the FBD for the left rope of mass m. F2 is acting towards right and F is removed. So the equation is F2 equals to ma. This is equation number 1, this is equation number 2, this is equation number 3. If I add equation 2 and equation 3, F2 will cancel out. So F1 equals to capital M plus small m into A. This is the value of F1. Am I clear? And if I substitute the value of F1 in first and second equation, I will find the values of F and F2. First equation, F minus m plus m into A equals to ma. So F equals to m plus 2m into A. This is the value of F. And F2 is ma by the third equation, or we can find the value of F2 from the equation number 2. So this is the value of F, this is the value of F1, and this is the value of F2 at t greater than 0. Let's check the option. First option, F1 equals to F2 equals to F for t less than 0. Yes, we are saying the same. Second, F1 equals to F2 equals to F plus mg for t less than 0. This is wrong. F1 equals to F, F2 equals to F for t greater than 0. This is also wrong. T greater than 0. F1 less than F, F2 equals to F for t greater than 0. This is also wrong. Only first option sorry, is the correct option. Next question, Question number 6. Question number 6. The force exerted by the floor of an elevator on the foot of a person is standing there is more than the weight of the person if the elevator is. What is the meaning of the question? In simple words, the question wants to say that the apparent weight of a man standing in an elevator will be greater than the actual weight. That is the normal reaction. So mg working in the downward direction, normal reaction in the upward direction. If acceleration a is in upward direction, we will write n equals to mg plus a, that is n greater than mg. So the force applied by the floor of the elevator on the passenger or man will be greater than the actual weight if acceleration is in upward direction. Now tell me, what are the possibilities when A is acting in upward direction? I think first possibility is that the elevator is going up. It means upward direction, and acceleration is acting in the upward direction. It means it is speeding up. This is the first possibility. And what is the second possibility? That the elevator is going down and acceleration is acting in the upward direction. It means the elevator is slowing down. Is that clear? What is the simple concept? The direction of A must be in the upward direction. If the elevator is going in the upward direction, it is speeding up. And if the elevator is going in the downward direction, it is slowing down. Let's check out the options. Going up and slowing down? No. Going up and speeding up? Yes. Going down and slowing down? Right or wrong? This is also right. Going down and speeding up? This is wrong. Clear? Okay. Next question. Question number 7. If the tension in the cable supporting an elevator is equal to the weight of the elevator. Okay. Again, the question is related to the elevator. This is elevator and this is the cable through which the elevator is suspended. See, the mass of the elevator is m and tension in the cable is T. The question says the tension in the cable supporting an elevator is equal to the weight of the elevator. It means T equals to mg. This situation is possible when the acceleration is 0. This is very simple. When the acceleration of the elevator is 0, then T equals to mg. Let's check the options. Going up with increasing speed, A equals to 0 means V equals to constant, that is uniform motion. First option is wrong. Going down with increasing speed, wrong. Going up with uniform speed, this is right. And going down with uniform speed, this is also right. So C and D, two options are correct. This is very simple problem. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. That is question number 8. A particle is observed from two frames S1 and S2. The frame S2 moves with respect to S1 with an acceleration A. Let F1 and F2 be the pseudo force on the particle when seen from S1 and S2 respectively. Which of the following are not possible? Okay, let's read out the question again. A particle is observed from two frames S1 and S2. The frame S2 moves with respect to S1 with an acceleration a. Let's concentrate on this particular statement. Say this is frame S1, this is frame S2. Say acceleration of S1 is a1 and acceleration of S2 is a2. Question says the acceleration of S2 with respect to S1 is equals to a. Okay. First possibility is that both the frames are accelerating. Both the frames are accelerating. Okay. Let's check out if there are some other possibilities also. If I say S1 is moving with constant velocity or is in rest and S2 is moving with acceleration a. Tell me what is acceleration of S2 with respect to S1, that is again a. I think there is one more possibility, that is S2 is moving with constant velocity or is in rest and S1 is moving with some acceleration a. Again acceleration of S2 with respect to S1 is a. So for this conclusion there are three possibilities. This is first possibility, second possibility, third possibility. Let F1 and F2 be the pseudo forces on the particle when seen from S1 and S2 respectively. Let's take the first possible case. In this case, the pseudo force F1 is equals to ma1 and pseudo force F2 is equals to ma2. Am I clear? And in the second case, as S1 is inertial, it means velocity is 0 or velocity is constant. So in this condition, F1 equals to 0 and F2 equals to ma. And what about the third possible case? In third possible case, S1 is moving with some acceleration. So F1 equals to ma and S2 is in rest or moving with constant velocity. So F2 is equals to 0. Clear? So in first case, F1 is not equals to 0, F2 is not equals to 0. In second case, F1 equals to 0, F2 not equals to 0. In third case, F1 not equals to 0 but F2 equals to 0. Let's check the option. Which of the following are not possible? Not possible. F1 equals to 0, F2 not equals to 0. This is possible. F1 not equals to 0, F2 equals to 0. This is possible. F1 not equals to 0, F2 not equals to 0. This is possible. F1 equals to 0, F2 not equals to 0. This is not possible. So this is the correct option. What is the basic concept in this question? The basic concept is that if a frame S2 moves with respect to some other frame S1 with some acceleration, one of the frames must be non-inertial frame. Only then this situation is possible. So one of the frame must be non-inertial. It means one of the force must be non-zero. So which is not possible? That both the forces are 0. This is not possible. Okay. So fourth option is the correct. It's a very good problem. Let's import next question. Question number 9. A person says that he measured the acceleration of a particle to be non-zero. Person says acceleration is not 0 while no force was acting on the particle. While the force acting on the particle is 0. He is a liar. His clock might have run slow. His meter scale might have been longer than the standard. he might have used non-inertial frame. Check this conclusion. If a person says or a frame says that acceleration is not zero but the force acting is zero, this is the symbol of non-inertial frame. So he might have used non-inertial frame. Fourth option is the correct option. This is simple concept based question. Okay. So this is all about the objective second segment of NLM of SC Verma, all 9 questions video solution. Hopefully you understand all the solutions. If you feel any problem, just post your problem in the comment box. I will read the problems and try my best to solve your doubts and problems. Okay. Please subscribe the channel. If you have not done this till today, please subscribe it soon. Thank you very much. All the best.